Alright, welcome to the Getting Started guide for Valkyrie Connect. This is going to be the first roll video where I'm going to go through from the beginning all the way to the first major pull from the Star Party summon. So the game is going to begin the same way for every player. You're going to get 3 summons at the start. The first one will always be Sigurd, that guy with the sword right there. The second will be Bertha, and then the third one is going to be random. Once you do this a lot, the first thing you're going to want to look for is the skip button, and it will appear up there in the upper right. You're going to want to press that because you're going to want to get in as many of these rolls as possible. Or at a minimum, you're not going to want to read the same thing over a million times. So our first summon, we get the 2 that I mentioned earlier. Sigurd, Bertha, and Wolfgang. Wolfgang is actually like a decent pull from this, not the best, but certainly not the worst. I wouldn't re-roll over this, I'd just keep going because it's Star Party and I need to make use of my time. So you're going to go through a series of tutorials. It'll show you the buttons that you press, kind of the basics of gameplay. It's nothing that I think will require extreme explanation. It'll show you how to use mercenaries, which is going to become important in a little bit. And then you'll go through your first Connect battle. I don't actually know if it's possible to lose this. I haven't tried. There was a point where I got pretty close, actually, so it might be possible. But in general, it's not going to be a concern. So after you're free from the tutorials, you're going to want to jump into the home screen. You can get to the home screen by the upper right button. And you'll go through and you'll receive some initial login bonuses, and some of your just first diamonds. It'll give you a free hero ticket, and you're going to want to collect those. You can do that now, you can do it later. Banners will pop up just telling you what's available and announcements and things like that. So once you're done with that, here's where kind of the secret sauce comes in. Normal way of going through the main storyline is to start leveling up your heroes and use your own party to overcome the challenges, and that's great and all, but you end up wasting a lot of resources on your early game heroes who kind of suck. So instead, you're going to go here, click the crown to get to this menu, and go just follow the top 100 score players. What this will do is give you access to their mercenaries, and you just go through, add them here, and so instead of having to level up your entire party, you just bring the biggest, baddest people in the game to go beat it for you. It doesn't work the whole way through, and you are going to have to build your team, but this will get you far enough so that you can start acquiring the heroes you want to spend your resources on, because you don't want to waste orbs, time, effort, stamina on Bertha. There are players who do that, and they seem to enjoy her, but I don't recommend it. So this is not a high-octane adventure. I usually stop around 20 to 30 when I'm starting an account. You can maybe cut it as low as like 20, but you want to have enough things to follow so that you can get to your first 3,000 diamonds so you can do your first pull. So that's what I do here. You'll also get exposure to a lot of the different heroes in the game, and you'll get to see what they do when you bring them into your party as a mercenary. And for the most part, people in the top 100 power score are going to have more interesting stuff than people your own level, which is the default. So after we're done with that exciting following adventure, we're going to return back to the main game. So it's kind of fun to just watch this Thor wreck stuff. You'll see just how much more powerful he is than the rest of your heroes. He's doing like 6 figures of damage, and that's pretty good. So one of the things you'll want to notice is that all of my heroes are behind the Thor. I make sure that whoever I put in my party, they aren't in the lead. That's because they can die if they're up there, and that'll prevent you from getting 3 stars. Your goal is to get 3 stars on everything, and to get 3 stars, that means no one in your group can die. So I'm going to speed things up because I have the power to do that, which is amazing. Video editing is a supreme wonder of the 21st century. What you'll notice as I'm going through this is that I'm skipping the story, I'm skipping everything, I'm just throwing in the mercenary and running with it, which is great, but I recommend playing through and reading the story. There was effort put into the translation, into the original story. It's a little like silly, a little slapsticky at times, but it's entertaining enough that I'd say it's worth the read. And if you don't feel like reading, you can just click that skip button, so it's always there. So it's a good time to explore different mercenaries. You're going to find that you're going to default to Thor and Saber just because they go in the front. You'll put things behind them and get used to it, and you'll kind of get into a flow. But feel free to check out other heroes that look interesting or that you just want to see. It's not going to hurt you as long as your stuff is behind them. At the worst, it's just going to slow down your rerolling speed, and unless you're trying to do like hundreds of these like I do, you'll be fine with just any mercenary. Once you start to get towards the end of Chapter 3, you're going to want to head into PvP. The reason why is by this point, your hero should be leveled enough that you'll be able to beat the computers easily. So I clear Loki, grab some diamonds, and I head straight into the arena. I go home arena to get here. And now I'm looking for an NPC to fight. I don't want to fight a real player. I want to fight anyone who's kind of weak and easy to kill. One thing that I did here that I don't normally do is I played it at 2x speed. When you're doing real arena fights, you want to watch them at regular speed so you can actually see what's happening and notice where your team needs to improve, or so that you can figure out why you're losing, winning, whatever. It's really important that you go through it. We'll get to that in the arena video, but for now, just know that you don't want to do the 2x speed if you don't have to. So we'll head into some very sped up video of me going through the rest of it until I can get to my 3k diamonds. It usually happens by around chapter 4. It can happen way faster if you're in a new PvP bracket for arena, because you'll get tons and tons of arena diamonds. But otherwise, you're just going to plow through it. So hang in there, put on some music, and get grinding. So we're heading into the final stretch. I'm doing arena, just doing whatever I can do to get the amount of diamonds that I need. I think I should have it now once I collect, and I do. So for a quick recap where we're at in the main quest line, we're at chapter 4. Gonna open that up just to show it. You might be a few ahead or a few behind, but generally you'll be around here. So then you'll go to summon. And since it's Star Party, we're going to do a Star Party summon. You'll click 10 times. You want to do that just because it improves your rate by 1. You're guaranteed at least 1 super rare. Super rares are 3 stars, the things that you're rolling for. The other stuff doesn't really matter, so I won't really announce it. So we got 4. That doesn't mean anything by itself because we just got Volley, who's awful. She's the worst girl in the game, probably. Sonya's actually really good, but not uncommon, so we're not rolling for her. There are people who've taken her all the way to endgame. Freya's very good, but we could have gotten her instead of Wolfgang, so she's not like the best ever. Nice gun. It's actually really useful in connects. And the final super rare is Yeah, no, that's Valley's weapon. So this time around, I'm looking at what I have, and I think that I've lost this reroll. Okay, so my thoughts overall are that we lost the reroll because first, we didn't get Erd. I was going for Erd in this reroll. I really want her badly, and that just makes it a no-go for me. But even if it wasn't about Erd, I didn't even get a Star Party hero, so I wouldn't continue this account anyways. It's Star Party, and that's the best, that's like my minimum acceptable outcome, and I didn't get that. If it weren't Star Party, I only got one investment grade hero, Freya. Wolfgang's kind of borderline for me. Other people will swear by him. He's one where I might be wrong. The fourth reason that I'm not, content with this is that there's a lot of time left in Star Party, and I happen to have enough free time to reroll. So, given that I'm not under time pressure, this isn't something I have to accept. Even outside of Star Party, I wouldn't go with this. The reason why is I spent 3,000 diamonds, but I could have spent 1,500 on the beginner summon, and all of this stuff might have been in there. So it's not like I got any value out of the Star Party. If I'd gotten this out of a 1,500 summon, I might have continued with it because you could actually make a decent team. It's playable. You could get Niji, Freya, Thor, Wolfgang, and Hel. Niji comes from a ticket, Thor comes from a ticket, Freya, Wolfgang I have, Hel you get for free. So that's a team that can actually go very far into the game, and they're very good. But in terms of what I could have, this isn't going to cut it for me, so I reroll.